they let me choose what classes I wanted to teach, and I put that I wanted to teach a video game class, thinking that there's no way they'll let me teach about video games. And sure enough, for the next year, I could teach it. It was a little scary at first, because like, how am I going to teach about video games? But man, it like reinvigorated my love for teaching. Suddenly I'm pulling out all the textbooks and I'm learning the history that I didn't know myself. It was like a rush to academia on something that I've never learned about. The History and Impact of Gaming is a new course that we offered here at Summit. We basically learn about gaming in general throughout history. We start with physical games. The earliest game, according to my research, is a game called Knucklebones, which modern day it's called Jacks, with the bouncy ball and the little pieces that you pick up. So every week we move closer and closer to modern day. And after, I want to say about 6 weeks, we're into electronic games. We start with the first ever video game, Space Wars, but then we go basically decade by decade and get into Atari and the old Nintendo Entertainment System, Sega Genesis, and then we try to get as close to modern day gaming as possible. One of the cool things about the course is we're not just playing the games. We're learning social skills, we're developing writing skills, we review every game we play in the course. And we talk about the social impacts of gaming because, you know, when I grew up, gaming felt like a new thing. My parents weren't really into gaming, but nowadays you have kids whose parents grew up with gaming. And it's a more enriching aspect that more and more generations will be a part of or a part of their lives. I mean, so far the kids have been loving it, and it's like, it's a passion of mine. When I'm coming up with lessons for like my Global Studies 2 class, World History, there are hundreds of references to old video games that I'm constantly putting into my lessons. And sometimes the kids pick up on these things and all of a sudden, boom, they're making that connection to something that happened in history, to something that they know about. Minecraft, for example, is a game about building, and you get to see that creative side of kids. And there's so many different games of all different genres, and there's ways you can relate and connect them to, you know, what you're trying to teach them. The moment I'm able to incorporate like my life and my interests into my lessons, you're incentivizing the students to want to feel that like connection to the source material, because they're suddenly associating what they're learning with something they know and they recognize. I mean, it's that connection piece, how they can relate it to their lives and something that they find interesting that really puts them over the edge and develops a safe learning environment. My quality of life increased because I'm teaching what I love, and that's something I am super thankful my administration is so great here. Anytime I talk to them, they listen to me and they take my feedback seriously. I'm grateful because I'm sure there are administrators out there that don't do that, and their students in their schools suffer for that.